Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Let's continue our discussion related to question answers for ESG, sustainability and climate change. Okay, next question is about what if any would cause you to begin considering ESG issues in your investment analysis and decisions. So we can think about demanding from client or investors, proven link between ESG and the financial performance. We can think about regulatory and legal requirements to consider ESG issues, better information on the ESG risk and opportunities, clarity that it doesn't conflict with my fiduciary duty, and development of the internal capacity on how to consider these issues into our business decisions actually. So what are the methodologies considered for considering ESG issues or integrating ESG issues into the business functions? So as we have discussed, certain themes are there like exclusionary screening, best in class selection, active ownership, thematic investments, impact investments, or ESG integrations, we can say. So these are certain approaches how we can integrate ESG issues into the business functions. There is very interesting topic called sin stocks. What is the meaning of sin stocks? Sin stocks are the shares in the companies involved in the activities that are considered unethical, and we can take certain examples related to the alcohol, tobacco, gambling, weapons. So these are certain examples related to the sin stocks. So ethical investments tends to exclude these sin stocks as the companies involved are thought to be making money from exploiting the human weakness and vices. Why the sin stocks are undervalued? So sin stocks offer a unique set of opportunities and risks. Generally they are undervalued in the market because a selected group of investors are avoiding to buy them actually. So this makes even an average return on these shares by very lucrative for investors. Now, what are the myths and reality about ESG investment? There are certain myths. First, we will have a look like investment firms are considering only ESG issues primarily for reputational reasons. Then ESG issues are mostly about climate change. Next is ESG methods are confined to exclusionary screening only. No, the reality is the top reason investment professionals consider ESG issues is to manage the risk, ESG related risk. To the top ESG issues investment professional considered is this is a board accountability actually. So there are 6 major methods of which ESG integration is used most widely. It's not only about exclusionary screening. In the last discussion we already have this discussion. So investment professionals are considering 6 different methods for ESG integration. Then we talk about what is the goal of ESG training and awareness. The primary goal of ESG training is to learn how to evaluate the company's environmental impact and to assess socially responsible investment. So young investors in particular want to make sure their investment decisions are in line with the values such as sustainability, ESG, social responsibility. So think about the business operations, environment, social capital, human capital, governance related issues, and designing the ESG related training matrices accordingly. Next is about what are the 5 sustainable capitals for ESG related performance measurement. So it's useful to differentiate between 5 different sustainable capitals for we can say financial, natural, produced, human and social. Produced means like infrastructure also we are saying, and all are the stocks that have the capacity to produce flows of economically desirable outputs. So the maintenance of all 5 kinds of capital is essential for the sustainability of economic development. So sustainable capitalism is a conceptual form of capitalism based on sustainable practices that seek to preserve the humanity and the planet while we can say reducing the externalities and bearing a resemblance of the capitalist economic policies actually. What is the difference between linear and circular economy? This is most commonly asked question. A circular economy is fundamentally different from a linear economy. To put it in simple words, linear economy we mine raw materials that we process into a product that is thrown away and after the use. And in a circular economy, we close the cycle of all these raw materials actually. So it's a zero waste concept we are focusing on that. So what are the meaning of the benefits of the circular economy? Moving towards a more circular economy could deliver the benefits such as reducing the pressure on the environment, improving the security of the supply of raw materials, increasing the competitiveness, and importantly stimulating the sustainable innovations, boosting the economic growth, additional GDP, and creating jobs. So these are some important benefits of circular economy principles. What is the meaning of sharing economy, and what is the role of sharing economy in ESG and sustainability? ESG and sustainability. So the sharing economy is a new phenomenon considered to stimulate sustainable practices. It's viewed as the synergy between the technology, information, and marketing that promotes a new culture where the customers favor access over the ownership and enabling them to use the resources more efficiently. So, what can be the impacts of sharing economy in sustainability? So, sharing economy is an opportunity for sustainability. So, we consider this as an opportunity, and the organizations can work over it. So, the possibility of using assets without the need of owning the property reduces the need for goods production and reduces the waste itself. Next discussion is about what is the meaning of fair trade. So fair trade is a third party verified system of trade which provide better prices, decent working conditions, local sustainability and fair terms of trade for, we can say, farmers, workers in the developing world. And by receiving a fair price of the goods, producers are protected against the fluctuations in the world market prices actually. So fair trade has been shown to increase the standards of living and, we can say, reducing the risk and vulnerability of both farmers and the workers. The fair trade minimum price provides a safety net for the farmers, reducing their vulnerability to price fluctuations as well. So paying the fair prices, sustainable production and consumption, working in decent conditions, no forced labor or the child labor, and we can say empowering, not exploitative actually, empowering, this is required actually, and fair for all employment opportunities without discrimination. These are the common objectives of the fair trade actually. Then we talk about the critical factors which we can say the financial performance of the investment, where we can say the critical factors which financial analysts or portfolio managers are considering in the financial decisions or analyses. So a critical factor in the financial performance of the investment, which is the investor's ability to identify drivers of the expected risk and the return of that investment. So the financial analyst or the portfolio managers are expected to be familiar with the financial factors that drive the value of an investment. However, there are like issues that are difficult to measure in the monetary terms, but they do not form part of the traditional financial matrices, also affecting the risk and return of investment decisively. So we can say in general they are referred to as environmental, social, governance related issues. So what are the challenges these asset managers face related to ESG? The most interesting challenges are, like we can say, a complex landscape of ESG focus areas, differing the expectations from investors side as well, institutional investors, the likelihood of new regulations and uncertainty over its formation, and a confusing array of the inconsistent ESG data, an absence of standard ESG terms, matrices and reporting frameworks, and we can say a lack of consensus on the effects of ESG strategies on the financial returns. Then we talk about identification of the steps of aligning ESG with the enterprise risk management. As I said earlier as well, the identification of the full spectrum of your company's risk, including environmental, social, governance risk, then aligning on priority ESG issues for inclusion in the ERM, modify the ERM inventory, accordingly and evaluate the relevant risk for likelihood, vulnerability and impact. So that's how we maintain ongoing ERM with the materiality alignment. So first of all, let us see the draft that governance for effective risk management, then understand strategy and the context of the business, identify the ESG related issues or the ESG related risks, evaluating and prioritizing those ESG related risks, and take measures against the ESG risk. Finally, we need to check and review and revise those ESG related risks, and we can say at last that disclose that information transparently and report ESG related risk. So what can be the examples of green investment opportunities considering the risk and opportunity identification and analysis? So there are certain key focus areas like green power investments, water stocks, wind power, solar energy, pollution controls, green transportation, waste reduction, geothermal, we can say green up your portfolio, and environmental policies. So these are certain examples of green investment opportunities. Thank you very much, students, for the time. We will continue our discussion from the next. Thank you.